even though you're landing on land?
I think there was one case where we had that case that you just described. Yeah. So we learned a lot over the last fairing landing test, I would say, and the fairings have little thrusters that help them orient for the reentry, and we find that obviously then they have a parachute that opens. So we worked on that too. I think we still have to learn a little bit to actually land them and recover and reuse them at this point in time. But it's certainly something we've made great progress over the last couple of months.
So will there be another time to?
Well, not on this one. I mean, obviously this one doesn't have a fairing. The next fairing mission is the one after that, and I think it has an attempt.
Thanks.
I think so.
Bill.
Hi, Ken Kramer, Universe Today and Northeast Astronomy Forum. Two questions. One about cream, if one of you guys can answer it. Why is it on the gem and not on the truss or somewhere else? And for Hans, can you give us an update on the two pads, 39A, preparing that for Falcon Heavy, and 40, preparing that for first flight? And when might we see a first flight again from pad 40? Thanks.
I can take a shot at cream, and Pete, you might want to, from a science aspect, you might want to chime in as well. But the Japanese exposed facility has an accommodation as a cooling loop. All right, and in all of the truss sites or the payload sites that we have on our truss segments on our ELCs don't have that. The Columbus external sites don't have that. So there's a unique capability, I want to say, on 8 of the 10 GEM exposed facility sites where it actually passes, I think, a floor inert fluid would act as a cooling agent, and so you can get a lot more heat dissipation and get your temperatures up and take that heat away with, and then that cooling loop gets routed back inside into a heat exchanger and is brought out onto their internal GEM control system, and then we dissipate that heat out through our big radiator. So believe it or not, the cream payload out there is actually tied into our main radiator systems out on the truss segment to give them and it's a capability to give payloads that need the power some extra cooling capability. And from a research side, I'm not quite sure.
Say what Dan said.
Yeah, okay.
We also look at these various sites at the field of view that they would see, and CREAM needs a wide sky. The GEM does a pretty good job. I think the site that CREAM is going to, or ISS CREAM, we're supposed to say, as opposed to balloon CREAM, the site on the GEM that it's going to has a decent view, but it's also one of the few that can accommodate that big of a payload, that heavy and large of a payload mass.
Do you mind repeating the question?
Yeah, sure. Can you give us an update, please, on pad 39A, preparing that for Falcon Heavy and removing the RSS, and pad 40, getting that ready for the first flight again of Falcons from there, and which flight might it be, CES or what? Thanks.
Yeah, so I should have driven by 40 this time. I didn't. I mean, obviously we'll be making great progress on 40. The cutover time has to be scheduled such that there's no delay from one pad to the other, obviously, and then as you pointed out, we need to actually do a couple additions, I would say, that we already have in work for Falcon Heavy to get Falcon Heavy ready. So in terms of time frame, I think this is in fall this year going to happen, and I don't think it's the next GEO mission. It's one of the next GEO missions that might be the first one from 40 is the old one, right? Yeah, from 40. So, but I'm not sure exactly which one. But it has to happen in the time frame of fall, October, November to get them ready for Falcon Heavy at the same time.
And if we can now go to the back of the room to Bill Harwood.
Bill Harwood, CBS News. For Hans, are you just as gloomy about the Falcon Heavy as Elon was the other day in his text? But seriously, I mean, you're the engineer. I'm one of the engineers. I'm asking, maybe give us your assessment of what some of the challenges are of making that rocket work.
Well, it's a big rocket, and there's certain elements that we haven't done so far. We haven't. I mean, we've done lots of models and analysis and all these things that you do for